Well, good morning, beautiful. I hope that this finds you well rested and ready to begin your week. This is your daily insight on life and love for April 26th, 2021. Also being timeless. So wherever you're catching it could be relevant, could be one of the more irrelevant things that you've ever seen, yet you're sticking around because you're enjoying the show. If you have questions about booking a session, go ahead and reach out in the email address or find me on any social platform and DM me. It looks like we are kicking this week off in a very positive direction. And I do see that it seems like there's been some sort of isolation going on in your personal life, which feels very actually wonderful. I'm seeing that this is an opportunity for you to get your bearings and get your own sense of power and choice coming back. Look at this. We have the Sun card. It's the happiest card of the deck. Yeah, we're having a sense of innocence, not ignorance, but innocence that's coming in. There's a lot of passion behind this, and it's a very heightened emotional time, but it feels very positive. So, again, I'm going that this feels like an isolating time, maybe even like a ghosted time. I do feel like you've been breaking away from either comrades, friends, family, lovers. All around relationships just seem to have taken a back burner and kind of been forgotten. Nobody's really putting any effort into anything. I think that you've made the choice not to connect with certain people in your life, whether virtually or in the physical. And this has given you a sense of grounding, and it's a sense of victory. Again, this is all a matter of choice. You need to know that you have the ability to choose what you want to do and not give your power away to another person. So wherever this is starting off, it's what you're going to be building off of, which I can only look forward to with this. The mini read did come up in this. And it does look like while this has been on a pause and while you've been going into your own inner sanctuary or whatnot, I do feel like somebody on the outskirts of this that you haven't been talking to for a while has been growing, has been changing. And I do feel like somebody's coming in to communicate with you. And it does seem like it's coming out of left field. It does seem like it's going to either rip the rug out from under you and shock the living heck out of you, or it's going to be something that sweeps you off your feet. But whatever the case is, it does look like it's disrupting your life. And it feels like it might be potentially disrupting the work that you have just done. I really don't feel like it should be seen that way. I know it's a minor upset and what seems to be a step backwards, it's really not. It does seem very productive, like it's going to go forward with you, and this person might be a main character in your life. Not a negative one, not an antagonist or anything, but you are definitely the protagonist. It's just this is somebody who's going to be a supportive role to your life. That's movie comparison. Okay. But anyway, I do see a high compatibility in this. This does not it doesn't have to pertain to relationships. I'm not getting exactly a romantic feel of this. I am getting just a wonderful emotional compatibility. Somebody who's going to make life not better, but, it's going to add positively to your life rather than become a stressor. The initial reconnection is going to be a stress because it's going to be like, I thought I was done with you. No, you're not. You're not done. And let me, as always, use the disclaimer. If somebody is abusive, volatile, or in any way violent in your life, I'm not going to tell you to engage that connection. All right. If they want to change, great, grand, wonderful on them. You don't have to be the person who's like, I know they can change. Great. Pull away, let them go change. They don't need to drag you into that. Okay. So let's look at this. What is the why behind this person coming back into your life? All right, spirit out with it. Come on. Let's do this. Really? God, all right. you know how people are like, well, I realize I effed up. I screwed up. Congratulations, you screwed up. Yeah, you kind of kicked yourself in the butt with that one, didn't you? A lot of truth came out. A lot of things had to be spoken, and a lot of realizations had to happen in their life. And that is a major stress. They weren't willing to battle, and they were confronted with it in what seems to be another way. You often meet your path on the road you take to avoid it. I'm sure that's from something a lot more meaningful than Kung Fu Panda, but that's what I remember it from. So, what do you want? I have, my kids. My 15-year-old was the one who really got into that because Michael wasn't born yet. But anyway, so yeah, wherever you get your little nuggets of wisdom. All right. And I want this one too. What's this one? God, you can, whoever this is, they can't make their life small again. They can't put themselves back. They know that this is going to take time. And also, this person is feeling very vulnerable and unprotected. Whoever this person is, they went through the dumps. And I'm sure that you have too, but we're looking at their higher self and what they want to tell you. So this is saying somebody who feels like they have no voice, no protection. This is the disrupted masculine figure. And it doesn't even have to be male. We all have masculine and feminine inside of us. I'm seeing this as somebody who had a huge misbalance of power and authority in their life. And it feels like this person has to get their life going. They have to get themselves in gear. And this has got to be something where they really learn how to push back. This person has been forced to be what seems to be a doormat, quiet, just letting everything pass them by. And then we have somebody who's finally gotten their crap together. This person, on the other side of what they have just experienced is, first off, they know that approaching this connection, whatever it is, again, this seriously does not have to involve romance. This is somebody who could be a lifelong friend or even a new friend or a colleague or a family member. It could be anybody, but this is definitely a compatible, emotionally, mentally connection. And I do see that this person who is coming back from the past is ready to move on and heal. Not just the connection, that's going to take time and a lot of trust to build. They themselves are balanced, centered, and ready to move on in their life. So that's full steam ahead. This person is dependent on this new start in their life. They can't back down. They are giving this it's like the last ditch run in effort. It's like, all right, you know what? Gloves are off. We got to go, man. This has got to happen now. So that's what their higher self is saying, what happened before and what's happening now. Let's look at your higher self because it is beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it? Some of you might identify with the person who is reaching out to somebody, and you might be the person from the past. So let's be real about that one. Spirit, what about the viewer, you? What does your higher self want to say? Hey to little Rory in the UK. Hope that you're having fun with mommy, having breakfast. Ready to start the day. Lover's card has made an appearance. Oh, eek. God. You watching this, okay. They had the King of Cups energy on the other side of this. You have the Queen of Cups. This is a wonderful balance that's being stricken in this connection. If this is not dealing with another person, I got to tell you, because this is going to be a very strong possibility for some of you. If this is the feminine and masculine side of you uniting, and you're learning how to trust yourself again, and you are empowered and moving forward, because that's a very real possibility. First off, you, the overarching part of this is the divine feminine, emotionally focused, looking into everything. She is very empathetic. She is calling it out as she sees it, and she's not holding back anymore. You, the feminine aspect of you, is getting her fight back, which is kind of interesting because that's more masculine than anything. So the feminine is embracing the masculine and coming into center and wholeness. But if this is you as the feminine and the other part is the masculine, then this is saying you're not going to hold back your truth for anyone. You will defend your spot. You are not going to let somebody make you the doormat again. You've had an awakening. All parties involved in this, all aspects in this have gone through this real crazy awakening. And now everybody has this newfound sense of strength and empowerment and this can-do attitude. And I really see that this is something where the wisdom of when to speak and when to act is going to be taking over. It's not you working on an emotional standpoint. It's really you working from a wonderful balance of emotional and intellectual. Your emotions are not going to override the situation. Your intellect is not going to detach you from the situation. You're balanced. No matter what, your internal balance that I'm really feeling in this is mirroring on the outside, and this is who's showing up. Very, very interesting. Okay, that's what your higher self wants to tell you. What do you need to be mindful of so you don't have any sort of pitfalls? And I think I want this one over here. Can you hear my kids on the VR in the background? Michael's freaking out. No! All right. You can't let somebody in and still punish them for past issues. Either you forgive or you do nothing. You can't have this connection. You can't move forward if you're just going to invite someone in and retaliate to whatever that degree is. Yes, you are the amazing boss who held their ground, who's not going to be taken advantage of, who's not going to be exiled again. But if you put somebody in and try and make it a power trip, sorry, it's gonna be a huge setback. This is what you need to avoid, the power struggle, the need to make somebody feel any one particular way about how the past went down. You can talk it out, but you can't keep punishing somebody for something. You can't keep punishing yourself. If you aren't healed and moving on from it, then this isn't going to work. And I'm going to have you fall flat on your face. And we're going to see what happens if you do fall flat on your face. If you do not forgive, if you do not work on healing together, because that is going to be involved in this. Ooh. Yeah, it's not going to heal. All right. It's going to be a massive burden. It's going to take forever. And it's going to become the karmic lesson. If you do not work through this, you will face yet another karmic lesson. It'll be the same cycle of karmic lessons, and nobody's going to win. Nobody's going to come out on top. Everybody loses if there is perpetuating punishment and perpetuating old vicious cycles. It's not real if you say that you forgive, but you act otherwise. The words have to meet the actions of this. And then you got to show how much you've grown. So if anything is coming up to trigger you right now, I want you to address it in that moment. Work it out with yourself and communicate that to whomever this is involving. If you can't outwardly talk to this person, write it down, send it out into the universe. So that is something to, well, avoiding the punishment and stuff. What is something to look forward to in this? Moving on from the past, letting yourself be swept off your feet. Let this come in as it is. Trust it. Get rid of the stressors in your life. We're not going to cry over the past anymore. It's giving yourself the permission to move on and accept the masculine character that's coming in. Accept the grounded, the maturity, the new version of them. And it's not forgetting who they were. No. It's seeing how much they have grown and appreciating that for the beauty that is. And let's be real. Look at yourself in that same respect. Look at how far you have come. All right? Look at yourself now from a year ago. Are you kidding me? That's as different as night and day. Babe, you have done the work. You have to imagine that other people have stepped up too. You got to let go of wanting this to be what it was in the past. With this new growth, this new maturity, this new sense of self in either department, the old dream doesn't exist. That died right along with the old egos. You have to let go of that old identity and whatever you held yourself to in that. Look at that. It's going to be mourning of idea of what could have been, and it's seeing what's coming in. Yeah, it's going to be a little bittersweet thing, letting it go, but oh my God, when you let go of that string, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Okay. So, what does this new dream look like? You would be surprised. It's not anything that you thought you would have wished. It doesn't look like any particular union. Let's see. What is that? Ooh, tower moment. It looks like it's going to be a lot of work. And this is going to be intimidating. Ugh. This is where the growth happens. So, in what you have to look forward to is even more growth, even more ascension, even more escalation. As above, so below, as within, so without. As with the universe is the soul. It is a balancing. It is a new start. It is not jumping any ship. You are not going into a new parallel life. What else? Start where you are. Ooh, we got the Sun card, happiness. You're going to be ridiculously surprised at what this brings you. This newfound sense of innocence and this new sense of joy. What is this? Something that... I'm going to read this both ways. It's something that you have to be very mindful of where you are putting the focus in the work. If you put too much focus on one thing, it's going to neglect other areas and it's going to smack you right upside the head. This, balance out the workload. This is going to be constant mindfulness, walking that line, being focused and direct, and being mindful of how much you dedicate to each situation. You can't put it all into one boat. It's not going to work. Okay. Take your time and keep your head above water. Be the director of it. And know that whatever work you put into it is going to evolve everything. And this change, what you have to look forward to, this drastic change is so necessary. And it is going to involve breakups in your life. It is going to involve going through some sort of intimidation, but the intimidation is really the worst in your head than it is in reality. So if you, in the active situation, so if you can separate your imagination from what's really happening. It'll really take off the stress of the workload. And if you follow this advice, the likely result of this situation is, one second. It looks like, hold on. It looks like you're going to have to make a lot of choices, but it looks good. All right, so we have the Four of Cups. It looks like you won't be taking anything for granted. You won't be taking any situation for granted. Let's see. It will involve you opening up and getting, it seems to be your energy back, not holding yourself back. I really see you throwing yourself into making these choices because you can't be backed into a corner again. And honestly, you're tired of fighting. And this is involving ungrounded feminine. So this is breaking apart from feminine and going towards something that is new. This is a rite of passage. And we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. This is going to be slow messages towards a Two of Cups type energy. This doesn't have to be romantic, but I do see you moving on towards something new. And it's going to be something slow. All of this is going to take time. It didn't take you a day to get here. You're making a lot of choices, and it seems like you are making... I want clarification on that because that's kind of confusing me in this one. You have to make slow movements towards growth with this person who's going to be one of the main characters of your life. There's a lot of trust, and there's a lot of rites of passage that you are going to be going through in this one. But it's all for you. It's beautiful. All right, you know that this reading doesn't end at midnight. This is not 24 hours. This is a projection of your future based off of current circumstances. And if you choose to follow the advice or if you go in towards the pitfalls, your individual storyline will always be more detailed, in-depth, and intense. So if you have questions about booking a session, go ahead and reach out in the DMs or the email address. I look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, stay safe, have fun, and know that you are greatly loved and appreciated. Bye for now. It's all coming together, baby. Seems like you're trying to move on to the next phase or just progress in life in general. And it feels like you're stuck. It does feel like you are stuck. You can't figure out why. And it's just like, all right, let's do some self-check. What's going on here? This is going to involve not looking back, but seeing what parts of the past that you're holding on to and the why behind it. What part of that story of yours is making you feel safe to stay there? What part of it have you become complacent with? It's not something that you're going to stick with. This is coming up to be let go. You're ready to move on in life. These are the last bits. And you want to know what? It is time to move on. You can release this. You're ready. I really hope that that made sense. Okay. Seems like abuse, manipulation, or both are part of a history that needs to be brought forward right now. I do see that you speaking up and speaking out is going to create a platform for other people to step up and speak out. It looks like a massive sense of healing that is going on through not exact experiences, but shared similar experiences. I know that we all have our stories. I know that we all have a past. It doesn't take away from your personal experience or perception of it or what it has done to your life. It's speaking up to release right now. And I do feel like this is going to be the biggest release that you've encountered, and it's going to clear a lot of blocks out of your way. And it's going to be very cathartic, emotionally moving. I hope that that made sense. Yeah, so it's getting quiet, it's getting peaceful, it's getting rid of non-essential junk. This quiet that's coming about, it's anything but unproductive. And this internal checking is allowing you to see yourself not only adequately, but perfectly. I do see that you're going to see what your strengths are and what you want, not need, want to work on in yourself. You're starting to feel comfortable in your own skin, which is great because once you know yourself that well enough, there's not anything anyone on the planet can hold against you in this. And you want to know what? I'm getting that sense of peace. I'm getting that sense of focus. I'm getting that sense of direction and that freedom for you. So congratulations. Take your time in this. This is beautiful, fruitful. Something's coming back, something that you haven't looked at in a while, something that has grown even. It's coming in full force. Looks like it's about to rip the rug out from under your feet, or either that or sweep you off your feet. It does seem like a really good connection. Whether or not it's romantic, it doesn't even matter. This is completely coming out of left field. It is seeming like it's going to disrupt your life. It's really not. The Wheel of Fortune never stays in reverse for a while. This, what seems to be a setback, is not going to last long. It is going to be progressive. It is going to move forward, and it might involve this person being in your life. I do see an emotional compatibility and ability to progress forward with having this person in your life, not as a director, but as one of the main characters. This feels very positive. It is coming up from the past. It has changed, and it's worthwhile.